much my main Christmas present. I haven't worn it before because I hadn't done a washing for like 2 weeks. So I did a big wash today. Everything really that I own, not everything I own. I've got a lot of clothes that I don't wear. Anyway, but everything that I wear out of the many clothes I own was in the washing. So I put this on. It's very interesting because it's got buttons, but the buttons haven't actually, the buttonholes are all sewn up. It's very bizarre. So I can't actually do these buttons up. It looks a bit messy, I know, but I can't do anything about it. That's how it came. See, it looks like there's a top on top of a top. It's not. It's a pretend top. Look, it's a pretend thing. It's very, very strange. My mother got it for me. I'm not sure where she got it from, but look, it's... What is the point of a sewn up buttonhole? It's not like there's no buttonholes. They are buttonholes. It's just, they've sewn them up. It's weird. Hello, Philip. Weird. Anyway, I'm wearing it. So my mother can't say you never wear the stuff I get you because I'm wearing it, Mum. Yeah. Well, hello, Jerry. I'm wearing it. It's I used to wear a lot of purple. I haven't worn a lot of purple lately, but this is it's got like interesting. I don't really know what to say about it. Anyway, this has been a very unproductive week. I have had a week off. I'm back in work tomorrow. I have had well, to be honest, I was ill for some of it. Good morning, Terry. Ill for some of it, so I suppose that's some excuse. I wasn't particularly well, but I wasn't particularly ill. It was just sort of sort of ill, and I was like, oh yeah. But I kept waking up and thinking, I'll do something productive today. Shall I do a video? No. Shall I write something? Yes. I actually got as far as digging out some notebooks. I was like, I'm going to write in these. I'm going to write some short stories. I'm gonna look for some prompts and I'm going to write some short stories. And then at the end of the day, I'd go, no, I didn't do that. What I did do was play quite a lot of Final Fantasy X2, X2, 10-2. And I found that I played it many years ago when it came out, the early 2000s, but I found that the international re-release version that I got has got this thing which is a bit like Pokemon, where you go around finding monsters and you develop them and then you set them free and then they tell you a little story about what happened to them, which was quite interesting. So I spent the most of the week watching little, just leaving it. I thought, well, you can't actually fight them. You can't do anything with these monsters. You capture them, you put loads of equipment on them, and then you just have to let them go. You can put one of the playable characters on with them, but it's easier to just let them do it. So I was just like putting it on and it was there. I was getting on with it. It was like, all right, they've got up now. They're the right, yeah, I've developed them. I'll set them free. So I would set them free and then they would tell me a little story about what happened. It was too windy to write, yeah. A little story about what happened to them and why they became fiends, they're called. And what it is, it's very, you probably don't want to know this, but this is what I've been doing this week. These fiends are actually people that became these monsters, and then they've got little stories, and then they go to the far plane, which is the sort of in-game afterlife-y type thing. But they don't go because they've got stories, so they're like ghosts. And I was very touched by these. So most of the week I found myself going, oh, that's so sad, about some stupid little monster thing that has no relation to anything. I was like, oh, that's so touching. Oh, what a sad story. Meh. Really. So that's what I've been doing this week, crying about a video game. So that's good. And I tried to play it, actually. I re-grabbed the whole... I played the rest of the game. I'll play it and I'll get the controls. And I was like, because the big bosses at the end... well, they're not even at the end. There's bosses all over the place. Just keep killing me. So that's the end of that game. So I was like, oh, I just may as well catch the monsters and try to win some cups in this thing. Anyway, that was fun. Really, but that's really not productive. That's not going to get me anywhere in life. But then again, what is? I don't really understand life anymore, if I ever did. What does life mean? I don't know. So there's a lot of things. Yeah, sometimes it is good to relax. It wasn't really relaxing. So I'm like, no, why have they destroyed me again? And these monsters are getting me. It's just like, oh, why can't I get... I was like reading online things. This is how you defeat these these particular buses. I'm like, all right, well, I put all the equipment on and set it off and it should do it. No. Straight away, plum. It's like, well, they're more powerful than they should be. They're exactly what this person on this online forum has told me what to do. And yet, no, it makes no difference to anything. They just fall. And I'm just like, no, I was trying to win some things for my other playable characters, but no, I can't do that. So not even that. So my life is just meh. And my online life is also meh. So I'm not really getting anywhere with any of it. I went to the far plane with my little characters. I was like, oh, I'll get to the far plane. Shall I? No, this afterlife. Not even my afterlife. The characters. Just like, oh. Anyway, so that's what I've been doing this week. And now it's the end of the week and I'm back to work. And that's the end of that, the end of that, the end of that. I tried to play a game and I failed it really badly. I just found the fiends, developed the fiends and let the fiends go. And I've got hair in my guitar. I don't think that's where it should go. Is it a wig hair? It's not my hair, it's very long and blonde. It's from a wig. It's oh, that wig is the somebody asked me. This is the one that I got. This is it's in a video. I got it from a Woolworths and it's supposed to be a Miley Cyrus Hannah Montana wig, and it doesn't really, it's a very cheap wig. And somebody actually sent me something saying, oh, have you still got that wig? I'll give you money for it. It's like, no, it's my wig. You're not giving me money for a stupid wig that you're never going to wear. I'm not sending it to you anyway. I'd have to go out to the post office and the post office is very far away and it's windy. Why should I send you a wig? It's worth £1,000,000. It's not really. But I'd have to go to the post office and the post office is far away. And I'm not going out in this wind. It's been very windy this week, very windy this week, very windy this week. It would blow you away. In fact, it has blown lots of people away. Actually, I was sat there playing my stupid game and there was a rattling. I was like, no, it was Eunice, Dudley and Eunice this week. Dudley and Eunice, Dudley and Eunice. What a name, what a name. It's like something from a Victoria Wood sketch or a song about Dudley and Eunice. Yes, Dudley and Eunice. Anyway, Eunice, which is on Thursday or Friday, sat there playing my game. Rattling. What's happening? Is the house falling apart? Are we gonna fall apart? Are we gonna fall apart? There's trees in the back garden and they're falling off and everything's going wrong and the pond is getting full of plastic bags. But no, in fact, what had happened was after a little while the rattling stopped, but a big crash came and we looked out and the satellite dish from next door had come whacking off the side of the building onto the car. Onto their car. It's good. There's a big scratch on their car. Fortunately, nobody was killed, nobody was hurt, but the satellite dish has come crashing down and they didn't seem very worried about it, which is just as well. So that is a fatality. A dead satellite dish. And the satellite dish has come crashing down and it's never going to be seen again. So that's what happened. We've got a satellite dish on this house, even though we don't use the satellite at all. It was FreeSat for a while, but it's like you don't even use Freeview anymore because you don't need you don't need the outside. I mean, I only watch things on the internet TV, on the television, like Netflix and some of the replay channels. So I don't really use any of that. But we've still got the satellite dish. They don't take it away, apparently. They leave it there. They leave it there even though you don't really need it anymore. Satellite dish until the wind does the job for you and then you don't have to worry about it. So I'm getting deja vu a lot this week. I always got dreams and deja vu about a wall falling and terrible things happening. And this week, for some reason, maybe it's the wind. I was just like, it's happening now. Happening now. But it wasn't happening now. There's no walls falling down, but there is a lot of trees and other things and satellite dishes. But I'm a bit wary about because there's another storm coming. It's a Franklin. I've got an Uncle Franklin. I don't think it's him. So the storm Franklin tomorrow, and I have to go out in it. Out in the rain. The rain and the wind and the rain and the wind. Blow wind and crack your cheeks, as they say in King Lear it is. King Lear. They're on the windy moor and it's vile jelly and all stuff like that. The vile jelly scene is quite horrible. I wonder how they did it in real life. Anyway, so that is blow in and crack your cheeks. Oh, one who's minded like the weather most something. Anyway, something about the weather and something about the weather in King Lear and I can't remember what it is because it's a long time since I did it for my A-level. Many years. Yes, exactly. We've got a TV antenna too. Don't use it. It's got a satellite dish. Got all the old stuff still here. Historic things. It could come crashing down at any minute, but at the moment it's still there. So yeah. So what was I talking about? Wind. Oh, and did you watch RuPaul's Drag Race this week? That was all about Daytona wind. And I've been watching Masked Singer, even though that finished, even though stupid, that was over and done with last week. So I didn't watch the Saturday TV last night, but apparently Antoinette got into drag and very, very into drag. And I didn't see that because I didn't watch Saturday Night TV, but I did see it on the internet. So proving the point, you don't really need TV, you just need Twitter. So I've been looking at Twitter a lot lately, and it's just been showing me the most ridiculous things that it thinks that it's like, here's a follow topic that we think you're interested in. It's like, I'm not interested in that. And also, it's our horrible, vile stuff that's got nothing to do with it anyway. But when I looked into it, I found out that they've got loads of stuff. And every single sports team that ever existed, Joe Rogan and the Kardashians seem to be what they mostly thought, and all the sports. It's like, I'm not interested in any of that stuff. Why do you think I was interested in that stuff? And also, there was something about swimming. It wasn't about swimming, really. It was just hate towards particular groups of people under the guise of swimming. So it's like, I don't want it. That's not about swimming. I'm not interested in swimming anyway. Can you take that away from my feet? So I spent the day today taking off all the stuff. And every time I would take something off and go, no, not interested in that. Something Hydra-like. Do you know the Hydra? Yeah, you cut one head off and another one comes. Also like Cerberus. It's got lots of heads, but not quite the same. Yeah, just... Anyway, like that, they would just come back again. And they wouldn't be the same one, but it would be very similar. It's like, but you've got a certain amount of things. So eventually it was populated with topics that I don't really mind about, which was mostly weather and world events. I quite like that. And also it had Idris Elba, and I was like, yeah, don't mind. He wouldn't be my top interest, but if it stops other things appearing, then yes, Idris Elba, that's fine. And who else? The person that presents the Daily Show. I did know his name. It begins with a T. Trevor Noah. Yeah, so he's in my interest list, even though I would not normally. I don't watch the Daily Show. And also Stephen Colbert. It's like, well, fine. So they're in my list of things that I'm apparently interested in, even though I did not put them there. They are there now, and I'm going to let them there, because by having them there, then it stops. It was Oasis was one of them. It's like, I don't care about Oasis. I don't really think that it's an interest. It's going to come up that often. You two, no. Take it away. I will not have U2 today. Very much like when they added to everybody's Apple playlist a whole album of U2. It's like, maybe I would have listened to it if you hadn't foisted it upon me. And so that's gone. And in its place, just a load of weather and several celebrities who I've got no particular dislike towards. They seem fine. If something about Idris Elba and Trevor Noah comes up, then I will read about it happily, and that will stop other things appearing. That's fine. There's sort of a ward against things that are really, really unpleasant. And I know nothing about Joe Rogan, except that I don't want to know anything about Joe Rogan. So go away. Be gone with you, Joe Rogan. No, thank you very much. No. I will not have. No soup for me. No soup for day. Oh, I used to think there was there was a poetry book I had when I was younger, that I thought had something about Augustus that did not eat his soup, but his name's not Augustus. And I found the same poetry book in a school library, and I read it and went, it's not Augustus, I can't remember who it was, but it's a poem about soup. And I didn't remember any of the poems. I remembered some of the poems, like Today I Saw a Little Worm Crawling on His Belly, by Milligan, and various other things. And the rain it raineth on the rich and on the the rain it raineth on the just and on the unjust fella, but more upon the just, because the unjust stole the just's umbrella. So that sort of level of, like, is that a children's verse really? It's in the children's verse book. So I still don't understand Twitter conversations either. Michael Reeves, men who are, I don't know what you were saying there, Bohem. Is it Bohem? I don't know. But just everything's disappeared. Yes, I can't follow the conversation. I was looking away, and I've got a tiny little phone screen as my main screen is my camera, and it's where I follow and my eyes are not great. This week I changed my contact lenses for some daily contact lenses, and was just like, because I think I was allergic to them. My eyes were streaming, and I was like, oh no, what's happened to me? I was like, and I think I just can't see very well with any of it. So if I miss part of your conversation, please do not feel offended. It's because I cannot see any of it. Oh, it's come back. I still not, I don't know who Michael Reeves are. It is Bohem. Yes, so I don't know what, yeah. So things, exactly. I don't really know what I'm talking about, but never mind. I should probably do some different, oh look, different chords makes different sounds. But I don't really know any chords. And I think that's a C. And I think that's a G, but I might be wrong. So wrong. Ooh, that was a nice one. Whoa, the chords I can do, the places I can go. Oh, I'll be in the Carnegie Hall next. I don't know what the Carnegie Hall is. Do they do music in the Carnegie Hall? Hashtag, yeah, probably does seem to be some. I don't use hashtags on anything. I used them a couple of times back when I heard what they were, and it was like, oh, they seem a bit pointless. Let's not do this. So occasionally, so nobody can follow my Twitter things. I just put words in them. Yeah, and also I said something about somebody on Twitter once, and because said they were a public figure, and I said something about them that was less than flattering. I was like, they were annoying me, and they said something that made me annoyed, and I put it in my Twitter tweets, and they immediately found it and questioned it and followed me, and I was like, no, this is not good. If you say things about public figures, the public figure will see it and get annoyed. So don't do that. And certainly don't tag people. If you're going to be insulting to them, definitely don't tag them into it. But on the same, yeah, even if you're a nobody and you say something about a somebody, in the olden days, you were just talking to your friend. You said, oh, that person, oh, an idiot, ha ha ha. And that would be fine because you're just talking to your friends. But now if you say it on Twitter, then that person can see it and gets very annoyed at you and then takes all your money for you being an awful stupid idiot yourself for saying silly things about other people and get in trouble. So don't do that. So I don't use hashtags or at people unless I'm saying something very nice about them and I think, oh, maybe they'll like to see this nice thing that I've seen about, you know, or like I've retweeted them, and that's quite a nice thing to do if you think that they are nice people. Yeah, I'll put this down because I'm just making a horrible noise. Basically, my Twitter videos generally are a horrible noise. Yeah, so I was going to do one this week, but this last summer, I went on a canal walk with my parents, and I thought it was lovely and peaceful and wonderful. Oh, I thought, what a lovely video this will make. And then I looked it back, and this lovely peaceful video was nothing of the sort, because they were like waterfalls, they were like weirs, like sluice gates, that are no longer in use because they cut bits off this canal, so you can't actually travel down this canal. And it was, and the water was coming through these locks. It's called the 5 locks. The water was coming down, and it was so pretty and peaceful, I thought, but no, it's just like just a noise. So I'm going like, this is so lovely and peaceful, la la la, so tranquil, and all you can hear is so I can't use that really. Although maybe what I'll do is at Easter time I'll go back, because apparently they've cleaned it all up and they've taken away lots of the pondweed or canal weed or whatever it's called that's in it, and made it very much nicer. Although you still can't travel down it on a boat for the most part, unless, well, some of it you can travel down on a boat that you couldn't before, but you can't go to this 5 locks bit because there's a sort of road in the way, so it goes sort of underneath. There's like a drain, so unless you've got a very tiny, like in the sort of what's that thing where you go into the body, the amazing journey, the magnificent journey, whatever it is, that thing where everyone shrinks down and they go on a traveling, they go through somebody's body and they travel, unless you shrink down like that, you can't get through the gates, because there's just a sort of like drain that goes under, so you're really not going to be able to travel through that in any sort of anything, not in a boat, not in anything, unless you put yourself in a little tiny Tupperware container, all those things, the old-fashioned things where you put a message in a metal thing, and the tube and the vacuum tube, and you shoot them down. Maybe you could do that, but you'd have to, you wouldn't be out. You wouldn't come out the same on the other side, really. Willy Wonka's chocolate factory or something like Mike TV. Like, you could do that. You could, like, in Mike TV turns into a little person and he can't get back again because he's tiny. He's big enough for TV. He shrunk down, but now he can't. He can't get back to his normal size. Yes, Jerry, I'm not sure what you mean, but yeah. I didn't block anyone today. I didn't block anybody off my Twitter today. I just got rid of a load of stupid subjects that I didn't really want to see. That's all I did. So I didn't really block anybody. I just went, no more of this rubbish. I don't want to know about that. Not interested. So that's all I did, really. So they weren't on my list anyway, but Twitter for some reason thought that I might be interested in this nonsense. And even after I got rid of it, there was swimming was a subject. I just said swimming, not interested in swimming, certainly not interested in the take on swimming that this person who tweeted about some swimmer had. I was like, no, go away. And yet, on another device, I looked, and the very same tweet and the very same subject was still there. So it did not work, really. It didn't work, but I thought it did. Maybe it just made me feel better for a little bit that I did something. And I've done very little, as I said, this week, except for playing silly games and being a bit ill and listening to the wind. Fantastic Voyage, exactly. Fantastic Voyage. That's what it's called, Jerry. Thank you very much. Thumbs up to you. It's Fantastic Voyage where you go into a small... Yeah, it's just something I was talking about, where you get small and then you go through somebody's body or into a canal. Anyway... So basically I've got a couple of you're not really like people get angry, don't say basically, that's not proper English, talk properly, but I've gone quite a long way without saying that. So anyway, no better, I am going back to work very soon. I've got very few hours of freedom left before I have to back to the grind, and I won't get any pay next week because I didn't get any work last week, so I won't get paid this next week for last week, so I won't get any money for the next 2 weeks, so it'll feel like I'm not getting paid at all. It's so annoying, and I don't get holiday pay, even though I've looked that up, and apparently I should do. It's very annoying. I'm very annoyed, and I'm on the verge of going, what am I doing? What am I doing this for? I'm just limping on, going, just seeing what becomes of it. Oh, that's something that's something else I've been looking at. I've been looking at woods to buy. I was like, can you buy a wood? Can I get a mortgage to buy a woodland? Yeah, I'd have to pay for the union though, wouldn't I? And then I'd just be like, I can't be bothered anyway. Unions are good things. I recommend, but I am a member of a union, and I'd have to be a member of a different union, and then I'd have to pay 2 union subs, and then I'd be like, I think everyone should, yes, whoa, solidarity and all that. But yeah, generally I think it's a good thing. In this particular instance, I'm on my last. I just can't be bothered anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. So it's just that would be admitting that I'm doing this, and I don't want to do it. If you know what I mean. Anyway, what was I saying? Buying a wood. Yes, I've been looking at woodlands to buy, and they're generally quite expensive, but I'm like, maybe I can buy. You can't build a cabin in the woods in this country. Not easily, not without pretending that you're not doing that. And I don't want to do that because you get into trouble, and I don't like getting into trouble. But I did read about somebody in Wales that had gone to live in the woods, off-grid, and I was like, that's nice. I really do need the internet and stuff like that, and some electricity, so probably not practical for me because I do need mod cons and stuff, but it's a nice thought. So I was like, yeah, but you have to have the land. So they had loads of, quite near my parents it was in Monmouthshire, so they had some woodland. And there's woodland all over the place, but it's more expensive than I have the money for, and also I couldn't really do much about it. It's like, now I've got this woodland, what do I do? Because I can't build on it, I can't live on it. I can just go in it every now and then and go, ooh, trees, nice, lovely. I've conserved some trees, it's good. Who really owns the land exactly? So I would conserve the trees. Basically, when you buy, I'm saying it again, when you buy woodland, you own it, but you're not allowed to do anything with it except make sure that the woodland is safe and look after the environment. So basically, I've said it again. So you are really buying a responsibility to look after nature. And you really don't own it. You just you can go there. You can cut down the trees and sell them for timber, but then you would be reneging on your responsibility. That responsibility is something that you haven't been taken seriously, really. And then there are no trees on your woodland. It's not a woodland anymore. So what do you own? Because you still can't build on it. You have to grow more trees. There was a couple of meadows saying you can make your own woodland. It's like, oh, and there was one I saw that was really good because it had like a Neolithic fortress on it, which you can't do anything on. You certainly can't build on that, and you can't grow trees on it. But you'd have the responsibility for looking after the Neolithic hill fort, and I quite like the idea of having a Neolithic hill fort, which I can't build on. It would be, it would be just what was there at the time. You can't build a new fort on it. Although I suppose with planning you could go, well, there's a historical fort on it. I've got a new hill fort now. I've recreated how it would have been, and I'm going to live on it in my historical hill fort. I don't think you'd be allowed to do that, though. They might get a bit annoyed if you did that and destroyed the archaeologically significant site. But I quite like the idea of having a Neolithic hill fort. I like Neolithic hill forts. That's good. And maybe I could get Time Team. That don't do Time Team anymore. They used to do Time Team where they could come and they could do an archaeological dig and tell you all the stuff that happened on this land. Oh, we found a piece of pottery. Look, it's a tiny little bit of pottery, and we're going to recreate it. Look, it was a gigantic vase. Oh, was it? Oh, yes, it was many years ago. But now it's just a bit of pottery that looks like nothing. It looks like nothing, but we can recreate it. Look how it would have looked many years ago. So I'm probably not going to buy a woodland, but I would like a. Is it coming back? Ooh, Time Team's coming back. Well then, I'm going to buy this Neolithic hill fort Phil Hort. I'm going to buy this Neolithic hill fort and invite Time Team onto my land to find out more about it. I'm not going to do that, but I could do that because I don't have enough money, and also I think it wasn't a huge amount of money, just more than I had. It's like 49,000 or something, which is probably, in the great scheme of things, not that expensive. I'm not sure you can get a mortgage for that. And also, if I go to live in my woodland under cover of darkness where nobody can see me, then I really won't have the money to pay for a mortgage, will I? Because I'll be sort of hiding in the woods. So, yeah. Or maybe I can just invite people to look from afar at my Neolithic hill fort as seen on Time Team, and that's how I'm going to pay for it. Yes, I bought a woodland. What did I do with it? I don't know. That would be good. Yes, I'll start a what's it called? GoFundMe to buy a woodland. Look at my woodland and a comedy club. I'll buy a comedy club. That was another thing I was looking at. Can I buy a pub and a woodland? Well, I can't buy one or the other. Maybe I can buy a shop and have a theatre in the shop, because you can do spoken word events without a license, or do like on avant-garde theatre without a license. You don't usually need a play license, but now you can just go, now I've converted. Just do it in the shop. So I'll buy a shop and a pub and a woodland. I haven't got money for any of this, but maybe if I get a GoFundMe, I'll get all the money for all of it. Yeah, exactly. That's probably what would happen, Boheme. Yes, exactly. Well, the woods. People need to film places all the time, don't they? So they could come in and film in my woods and make horror films and all sorts of stuff. Pay me great amounts of money as a location, and that's how I pay for it. You can dream, but then where would I live? Because I've spent all my money on a woodland and nowhere to live. So I just have to live in a tree. I could just make a sort of little hammock and a shelter in a tree. I think that's permitted development, isn't it? Shelter in a tree? Probably not, actually. I'd have to get a thermos flask. But if you can't fill the thermos flask with hot liquid if you've got nothing to... I don't know how I would get fuel to survive, but that's a problem anyway. Oh yes, the floor of yellow daffodils, very nice. Bluebell wood. One of them had bluebells and everything. Anyway, I'm just gonna go and play that silly game now. I could set up readings in pubs and shops. I definitely. But it's easier if I've got my own pub or shop, because then I've got control over the surroundings, and other people can come and do readings in the pubs or shops as well. That's mainly the thing, because I could do readings in pubs or shops, and have done in the past, but there's no control over that or who's running it. I'd have to run the night myself, and it's such a faff. Could I make lots of honey and plenty of money wrapped up in a £5 note? I could do that. Boheme. I get an owl and a pussycat and go to sea. Yes, that's what I'll do. I'm going to go and have a little rest now and prepare for the week ahead. Whatever that may. I was going to get another mystery box, but I thought, what's the point? So, that's another thing. I'm trying not to get any shopping for as long as possible, so that includes mystery boxes. But bye, have a great week, and I'm living off the food of my cupboard. Living off the fat of the land. No, the food in my cupboard, of which there is much, because I bought loads as a sort of stockpile, and now I have to use it because I can't afford any more, because I spent it all on the stockpile. Didn't think ahead. Well, I did think ahead, thought too far ahead. Yes, they do. Coffee shops host poetry. I've done that, a lot of that. Jerry, your old dog, new tricks. Yeah, I was going to say old horse, new tricks. That's about the water, isn't it? Anyway, yeah, quinoa to you too, Boheme. And bye-bye. And after all that, like what I'm saying is nonsense. You read the chat. If the chat appears, read that. Is it that side? Yes, that side. Read the chat. Is it that side? I don't know. Anyway, wherever the chat appears, read that and you'll sort of know what's going on, possibly. Or maybe not. And I'll see you next week. Bye.